everyone. Thank you for waiting. My name is Capellan, and you're watching another live chat series of Sash Factor International. It's 1 p.m. here in the Philippines and midnight in the US. Why am I saying this? Because, well, I am excited to present to you the very multifaceted national director of Mr. Gay World USA, the multi hyphenated Mr. Kyle Haggerty.
Oh, hold on.
All right, we're doing the wave. I see it.
Hold
Hi,
on.
Kyle. Hi, sir. How are you? How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm still awake. So, I know that this is important. So I stayed up for you. So it's midnight here in the United States.
Thank you so much. We are pleased to meet you today, and we are thankful for the time that you're giving to us. So we are devoting this time to get to know you, to get to know the organization, and also to ultimately to get to know more about the Mr. Gay USA brand. So before we start, let me ask you, how are you doing? How are things holding up in the US?
Things are challenging, but it kind of depends on what part of the country that you're in. I live in Florida, and sadly, the virus there is still killing people. The virus numbers are relatively high there. But I'm currently in my home state of Illinois, which is where I grew up, and it's a lot better here. And so what my hope is that we can unify as a country and get this country vaccinated. I firmly believe that if everyone gets vaccinated, that that we can get back to some semblance of normal. And then of course wear your mask when required to do so, and just take the politics out of it. And sadly here in the United States, politics is kind of governing how people are acting and treating the coronavirus. And I think that until we take the politics out of it and just speak with one voice, it's going to be a problem. But my prayer is that it'll get better each day.
I agree with you. My prayer is for everyone to get vaccinated too, and for everyone to see the value of wearing masks. And let's get back to normal so that we can watch the pageant live.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Terrific, terrific. Now we did some risk because we want to. The first part of this interview is for us to know you more. So I have a cheat sheet here because I researched on your biography. So let me start with your first question. Of course, you've mentioned that you're a native of Chicago and a graduate of Drake University with a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in dance performance. That is a very interesting combination. Tell us more about the decision-making process of choosing those degrees.
Sure. Well, I grew up in the pageant modeling and performing arts industry. My mother was a beauty queen. She was a singer, dancer, actress. I sing, I dance, I act as well. And so I always grew up as a performer. I was also a competitive dancer as well. I started dancing when I was 5. I started competing when I was 13. So the performing arts blood was always in me. But, my mother says, well, you got to get a real degree, of some kind, because as a singer dancer, it's more about performing, not necessarily the piece of paper, that you have. And so, Drake University is one of the top private universities here in the United States. And, it's not the cheapest school to go to. And so I had to get a real degree. And because I really wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, I felt that psychology is something that could be used in every facet of business, if I chose to do anything. So that's why I chose psychology. But my real love was the performing arts and dance. And so when I graduated college, I did the corporate America thing for a while, and then I took over my mother's agency and ran it for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And in the pageant modeling performing arts industry.
Perfect, perfect. That's terrific. Well, it's interesting to know that your mother is a beauty queen, so beauty runs in the family, I guess. Not just the pageantry, but beauty, the essence of beauty, that is. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Terrific. Thank you. Let's move on to your next question. In 1989, you established or you founded Haggerty and Associates and has been coaching pageant contestants on local, state, and multiple levels. Please let us know what fulfillment do you get in doing coaching for pageants.
Sure, absolutely. Well, first of all, I consider pageants to be a sport. I think that we need to understand that the one thing about pageantry, regardless if it's male or female, gay, straight, or whatever, is that pageantry is the one sport where everything matters. Your inner beauty matters, but also your external beauty matters. Your speaking skills matter. Your aesthetic matters. Your sense of style matters. Your performing arts talent matters if it's that category in the contest. And so a pageant, if you're going to be successful, is not something that you could just get up and do successfully. You like any other sport, to play and compete at the top level, you have to have coaching. And so because my mother was a pageant modeling and performing arts coach, obviously growing up in it, it was a natural fit for me to do. And so the reward that I get out of it is that, I've had girls that could not walk in heels, could not put a noun, a verb, and an adjective in the right order, didn't know how to do their hair and makeup, did not have a sense of style. And 2 years later, I'm watching them walk the stage at Miss USA or at Miss
Oh,
America or
wow.
the United States. I've had that where a girl didn't have any self-confidence, and 2 to 3 years later, she's on a national pageant stage. I've had a girl win Miss America. I've had a girl that I've worked with win Miss America's Outstanding Teen. I've had 7 girls win in the United States pageantry system. I've had a second runner-up at Miss World. I've had 2 Miss Globe International World Finals winners. I've worked with these girls, and some of them started out not doing anything, and now they're competing on the international stage. And so the reward that I get is that even though I'm training them for a pageant, I impact their lives forever. And I have girls that have paid for their entire college education just through competing in pageants. And so, just through coaching, I do impact lives.
Okay, perfect. Wow, I'm overwhelmed with the answer. Thank you so much. But there are things that resonated to me. First is that, well, I agree with you because pageantry is like the Olympics. You have to be an elite athlete rather, or an elite pageantry woman or pageantry person for you to get the crown.
Right.
So I like the allegory or the comparison, that is the comparison between Olympics and or the being a pageant, being in pageants and being an elite athlete. My follow-up question to you is, what is your coaching style as a coach? How do you coach? when I ask your mentee, when I ask how is Kyle like as a coach, what do you think people would or your coachees would say about it or answer the question?
I'm a tough coach, but I'm a fair coach. I'm very much a guy when I coach, even though the majority of the pageant arena is female, even though, the male pageant arena is starting to become very prevalent. I'm not emotional about it because it is a sport. I am a technical coach first. You have to have the fundamentals before you get to style. You got to have the presentation skills, once you get your style. So for example, in pageantry, well, let's even just talk about the performing arts. Before you can perform singing, you have to learn how to sing. Before you perform dancing, you have to learn the fundamentals of dancing. In pageants, before you can walk a catwalk, you got to learn how to pose correctly and know your body posture and know your angles. To answer a question, you got to have good grammar. You have to have good articulation. You have to have good presence before you even get to the speaking style and to the presence, of being successful. And so for me, I teach the technical first. I teach the baseline first. And then the most important thing is that when I coach someone, I don't change anyone. I don't change who they are. Every single person I work with is who they are at their core. The reason why I've been so successful for 30 years for doing this is 2 reasons. One is that I do not change them. I make that person the best that they are. I put their vision forward and what they want to present, and then I make it winnable. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that I've competed. I'm a former Mr. Gay America. I'm a former Mr. United States. I'm a former Mr. Black America. I'm a former Mr. Gay World USA. I've won 6 national titles here in the United States. I've competed internationally in both dance. I'm a 9-time US national dance champion. And so because I've been there, when I work with my clients, they can never say to me, Kyle, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Because I do understand. So the fact that I don't change who they are, I make them the best that they can be to present, and I have a full understanding of the challenges and the rewards that they can get, it makes me highly successful. And so that's kind of what my coaching style is through experience and then allowing them to be who they are.
All right. I like the fact that you keep the girls as core. That resonates to me because yes, because when we watch pageants and we hear some girls answer the question or present themselves, we know we can sense it's contrived. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It's like somebody told them to do this, and you cannot see the person. It's like when you see a girl, you see the trainer.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like, but when you say, I believe in your strategy, wherein when the girls stay to their core, but you make them the best version of themselves. You equip them, you empower them
mhm.
to present themselves in such a way that they're still genuine, they're still authentic, and they win the crown
For
without
sure.
even changing themselves.
Absolutely.
And also, I mean, the credibility is there because I was about to ask a question. So you have a lot of titles under your belt.
Yeah, I do.
So you've been there. I
Yeah,
mean, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, nobody can tell you that, hey, you don't know what you're doing or you don't know
for
what you're
sure.
saying because you've been there
Yeah.
and you've had a lot. So it's like you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's the real deal. It's like it's the real deal. Kyle Haggerty is the real deal.
Right. I
All
appreciate
right. Okay. So since you already touched base on the titles that you've won,
it. Mhm.
uh, how do you bring those experiences, multiple titles that is, to your role as a director of the organization?
Sure. Well, as far as Mr. Gay World USA is concerned, the experience that I bring is that I've had the opportunity to go to South Africa and represent our country at Mr. World. And, coming from the United States, like being Mr. Philippines or being Miss Philippines, you come from certain countries that comes with a certain amount of baggage, that goes with it, that when you come from Philippines, when you come from Thailand, when you come from the United States, when you come from Venezuela, these are places where pageantry really means something. And so when you hit that international stage, there is an expectation of making a top 10, presenting a certain package and looking a certain way and carrying a certain physique and being able to communicate in a certain way at the highest level, not just because of who you are, but because the country that you come from. And so when you have those experiences and when you are training or mentoring someone, you can show them the future. So, for example, the gentleman that we crowned in November, I'm going to be able to say to him, when you arrive there, this is what's going to be good. This is what's not going to be good. This is what it is to deal with the press. These are the type of questions you're going to get. I am able, just through experience, to tell them what to expect when they get to the international stage. One other thing, too, and I'm sure you know this, with speaking to all the title holders that you come in contact with, winning a contest is one thing, reigning is something else.
Yes, I agree.
Anyone can win a contest. You have a great day, you nail down 5 or 6 categories, and you have 5 to 7 people that agree with you and they crown you. Okay. And that happens in one night. However, you have 364 days that now you have to reign, and
Yeah.
so another thing that I bring to the table is that because I've reigned often and I've reigned successfully, I can help anyone with their reign. How do you promote your personal brand? How do you promote the brand of the contest? How do you grow a contest? How do you get corporate sponsorships? How do you do your community service? How do you do your charity? How do you do your purpose? How
Mm,
do you do all of those things? And so, because I've had those experiences on the local, state, national, and international level, I'm able to assist and guide any title holder, be it Mr. Gay World USA in the future or any other person that I work with.
all right. So it's like yeah. What I'm getting from this conversation is it's not enough that you win that night because you have a year to reign and to fulfill your duties.
Sure.
And as a winner yourself, as a 6-time winner, of course, you know exactly what to do. You know the ropes,
Hmm.
and you know how to pull in the reins. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I guess that's the beauty of what you bring into the organization because you've been there, you did your dues, and you know exactly what to mentor, what to tell the winners. My follow up question to you is: have you ever had a winner wherein they thought it's just a one day done deal, and that they're out of the door? They get the cash, they get the sash, and then they walk out of it. Have you
Hmm.
ever had that experience, or have you had that horror of
Well,
having
no,
to?
and I'm going to tell you why. No, I have not, because I am a firm believer that the success of a competition, a success of a title holder and their reign happens before they're crowned. And so, we have 50 guys competing at Mr. Gay World USA this year. You better believe that all of them have a copy of the job description and what's expected of them. It's very important that a person understands that what the job entails. Notice I didn't say what the title entails, what the job entails. Okay. The title is what you get that night. The job is what you applied for by competing. And it's the next 364 days. And so it is any director that does not give their contestants before they compete the job description is doing themselves a misservice. And in my 30 years of doing this, I never had that challenge because every contestant that ever competed in any contest that I directed, they know the job description before they get the job, because if they don't want the job, they shouldn't be doing the contest.
All right. I agree. that contestants must know what they are getting into, because before they must tread the waters, and they must tread it
I've had
carefully.
contestants, and I'll end this part with this because I know we have to move on. I've had contestants drop out of competitions because they found out what the job was and just realized they didn't have what it takes to do the job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's very important. Even in a corporate setting, you must set expectations, and if somebody's getting a role, they must need to know if they're cut out for the job or if they cut out for the role. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
Absolutely.
So I agree. I definitely agree with you. I want to go back to your coaching. Have you ever had a mentee or a coaching where you felt, this is not working? Or how did you tell people that, if you ever encountered that, how do you tell people, this is not working for us? It's not a good fit.
Well, I haven't, but I'm going to kind of give you two different kind of answers with that. I haven't in the sense that in my entire career, I have never told anyone that they cannot achieve something, because I have a belief system, and I'm going to share this with you. My belief system is anyone can win anything if you're willing to do what it takes to achieve it. Okay. And let me tell you what I mean by that. When I won my national competition to go to Mr. Gay World, I was 49 years old when I won it. My first runner-up was 28. My second runner-up was 30. My third runner-up was 30, and my fourth runner-up was 34. I was 49. When I went to Mr. World, I was 50 years old. Okay, competing against guys half my age. Now, when I decided to do that, I could have just said, well, I'm too old, I can never do it. Or I can put in the work that it took for me to win a national contest here in the United States and go around the world to represent my country. I put in the work, okay? And I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'7", and so I beat out guys who were, in my opinion, better looking, who were taller, who most people, like what I would say the Jacks of the world, who's gorgeous, but I was willing to do what it took. So, I've had people that the road was a lot harder, where I go, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this person to their goal? But we create a game plan and we move that ball forward 100%. When I tell a person, and I'll end with this, when I tell a person that they can't achieve something, is because they don't have the work ethic. Not because they're not pretty enough or handsome enough, not because they're 20 pounds overweight, not because they're not talented. We'll get them talented. We'll get them physically fit. Every person is beautiful, but you have to know what your beauty is, and how to represent that and then bring it to the stage. But if you don't have that work ethic, then I'm going to tell you to find another hobby, because in order to achieve it, you have to put the work. So that's kind of what my philosophy is, that anyone can achieve anything if you're willing to do the work.
All right. So for everyone who's watching right now, you have to remember the golden term: work ethic. You must have the work ethic and the right attitude towards your goal. Absolutely. You have to have that, because if you don't have it, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it.
You're going to know.
Haggerty said it, so you better believe it. All right. Let's move on to your next question, Kyle. you were a principal performer in the movie Blues Brothers, and
Was.
you've also appeared in a lot of shows,
Mhm.
local TV shows and TV shows in the United States.
Mhm.
Um, with all those achievements, and not to mention the crowns and the sashes that you've had, how do you stay grounded? How do you stay grounded? How do you keep
Oh,
yourself humble?
gosh. Um, well, here's the thing, and people would be surprised to know this about me, is that professionally I'm very extroverted, but personally I'm introverted personally. When I don't have a TV camera in front of me or when I'm not training someone or being a national director, I sit at home, I flip channels, I binge on Netflix, I put on a ball cap and a sweatsuit and just enjoy my downtime. I'm a type A person professionally, but not so much personally. And I think I just stay grounded by valuing my downtime when I rarely get it. I don't get a lot of downtime. And so, I just think that I just keep it in perspective. And one other thing too is that the crowns and the sashes and the TV awards and all the stuff that I've done, those are achievements. Those are accomplishments. They do not embody who I am. They don't make me. They're accolades that I'm very honored to have. And I always keep it in perspective. I don't think that I'm better than anyone else. I'm just the best at what I do.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. So that's how you keep yourself grounded and how you
yeah,
keep yourself humble.
yeah,
Regardless of how many feathers on your cap, you still manage
yeah.
to compartmentalize it and say to yourself that hey Kyle, this is you. You should remain humble and you should remain grounded. Perfect, fantastic. I love it. Now let's talk about the pageant itself. So let's talk about the Mr. Gay World USA brand. So when we talk about the brand or the pageant,
Mhm.
what's the branding? What do you want people to think of the brand of the pageant that is?
Okay. All right. Well, let me speak about it on the international level first, and then I'll talk about it at the national level in the United States.
Perfect. Sounds
Um,
like a
on the international level, Mr. Gay World is the largest and most prestigious international gay pageant for gay men around the world. Um, you know, 40 to 50 countries have their national selection process, be it a casting and an audition or national competition like we do in the United States. There's also a national competition in the Philippines, actually, which was 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. We all pick a winner and then they go. On the international level, the platform and the social initiative for Mr. Gay World are human rights. And that's what they really advocate. So on the international level, it is a person who is more of an ambassador for the organization, for the LGBTQ plus community, as well as the Human Rights Campaign and for the Gay
perfect.
World Foundation, which is founded on that. So the international brand is that. In the United States, and we don't run from this, we are a beauty pageant. We are the Miss USA pageant for gay men. And we send our winner to Mr. Gay World. And we don't run away from that. But we pride ourselves in beauty come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. The one thing that people say about our competition is that we have every race, every creed, every gender, every nationality. There are several languages spoken through the demographics of our competition. And so we consider ourselves a beauty pageant, but a beauty pageant where everything and everyone is represented. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we are a contest where the gentlemen are required to have a community service and a social cause and initiative in which they're going to advocate for. They are required to do that. And then we, as a national organization, fund that and push their platform forward, to go to Washington, D.C. and speak to Congress and to speak with our political leaders, not only about gay rights, but whatever initiatives that they find important. And so our brand for Mr. Gay World USA is that we represent everything positive about the gay community in our country. And that's our beauty, that's the entertainment industry, as well as the modeling industry, but as well as community service and giving back and paying it forward. And so we pride ourselves in being all of that, representing everything positive in the community. And that's the brand in which we put forward.
All right. Two things resonate to me. First is inclusivity. So you cater to all sexes, all colors, all races. And then the second one is community service. I
Hmm.
mean, in the Philippines, we call them advocacies, but
Hmm.
pretty much it's really about social activities and the like. So it's at the core of Mr. Gay World USA.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect, terrific, thank you. Now we are in the pandemic. We're into the second year of the pandemic,
Hmm.
and how has the pandemic affected the logistics and the pageant overall?
Okay. Well, on the international level, it's been extremely challenging. The last competition that we did in person was February 2020, and we crowned Damian Ramsey, and his first runner-up was Nathan Davis. And so in February, we had started preparing to send our winner to Mr. Gay World in 2020. Excuse me, that was going to be held in South Africa in that May. Obviously, the pandemic hit and the world shut down in March. So Damien did not get to go to Mr. Gay World in 2020. So now going into 2021, we have crowned a new winner who was Damien's first runner-up, Nathan Davis. Um, and so therefore we have our 2020 and our 2021 winner, and the World Organization had decided that they're going to do the pageant virtually. So over the past 3 weeks here in the United States, we have been getting our delegates ready for the 2020 and the 2021 virtual Mr. Gay World, where we're turning in, and we've been filming TV production over the past 3 weeks. We just finished filming 2 days ago. And so we're submitting that information, and then it's going to be telecast at the end of September, the beginning of October, and then we'll have a new Mr. Gay World. However, our competition is in person in November. So it affected us by not being able to have a 2020 a 2020 Mr. World. But now we're doing it, live as long as the country stays open. So, it's been a challenge, but if the country continues to stay open, Mr. Nevada will be on stage,
All right,
in
perfect.
8 weeks or 12.
8 weeks, yes.
It's,
For
it's,
those who haven't, for the benefit of those who don't know the schedule yet, could you please give us the exact schedule of the pageant?
excuse me?
For those who don't know the schedule, for the benefit of those who have yet to know the schedule, when is this happening in the USA?
Sure, of course. Mr. Gay World USA National Finals will be held in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is actually a resort city in the United States, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And the first day of competition is November 12th, and our finals night is November 14th of this year, 2021.
Terrific,
Mhm.
terrific. So it's November 12th and November 14th. So
November 12th
are you
through 14th.
planning to do Facebook Live, or how do you plan to broadcast it for the benefit of the global viewers?
Sure. Happening Now Television and production company here in the US is one of the leading LGBTQ television production companies here in the United States. And so they're going to be covering and filming the competition, and it will be available on live stream. So anyone from around the world that want to see the premier gay men's competition in the United States can purchase the live stream, and it will be available around the world.
All right. I just want to go circle back to you saying virtual pageants, because there is a particular women's pageant who does not like doing virtual pageants, and I shall not name the name of the pageant.
You
You
don't
know what
have.
I'm saying? So what are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on virtual pageants personally?
I don't like them. I think that in a virtual competition, it's really about how much money you spend and not the quality of the contestant. So I'll give you an example from a Mr. Gay World standpoint. Well, in any pageant standpoint, even we can even take Miss Universe. All countries are not created equal. Okay, so for example, Philippines, Venezuela, who else? USA, Puerto Rico, some of these countries, Thailand, the amount of money that we spend on our winners is very different than the Cook Islands, Ghana, the Reunion Islands, whatever, like smaller countries.
I
And
get it, get
so,
it.
right. So in a virtual setting, when you have to turn in certain videos and certain packages and certain things, if you don't have the resources to prepare these kind of things, when you submit it, if you don't submit something with a particular budget in which you spent, your product for this virtual contest is not going to be the same, even if you have a stellar contestant. So, for example, I'm not going to put all of our business here in the world purview, but the thousands of dollars that we had to spend on our virtual presentation for this year. We spent more money, I'm not going to get too much into it, but we spent more money preparing our virtual package for Nathan Davis, our 2021 winner, that it would have cost us to just send him to South Africa.
Send him over. All right.
Yes. And so we're spending more money. Okay, fine. It's the world we live in. But then, there could be another contestant from a third world country who could be better than our contestant, but their country don't have the same resources that we do here. So therefore, his presentation may not be as good as ours, even though he may be a better contestant.
Okay, I get it. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense. It's like, I mean, of course, in a virtual pageant, you have to spend money. Yeah, I mean, in everything that we do, we have to spend money. But I agree when you say that when you do a virtual pageant, it's more of the packaging. So those who don't have the purchasing power does not have the ability to participate in a level playing field. Because in this situation, the glossier your presentation, the higher the chances you will win.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Thank you. My next question is, okay, let's talk about what particular causes or advocacies or social initiatives do Mr. Gay World USA support currently?
Okay. All right. Well, we have two, but we're set up very differently. What we decided to do, and we're doing it this year, we'll see how it works out, is that we're going to take on the advocacy of our winner. Okay, so so if it's literacy, if it's breast cancer, if it's trans rights, if it's Black Lives Matter or Stop Asian Hate or whatever their initiative is, we're going to take that and move that forward. Now, my partner, Lewis Nicholson, who is the co-owner of Mr. Gay World USA, he has a particular cause that's important to him, and I have one that's important to me, and we advocate those as well. He is a native of Jamaica, and so we will be raising money for a group called the Gully Queens, and these are transgender teenage youth that live under the gullies of Jamaica because they were disowned by their family and their home.
Oh.
Right, and they're called Gully Queens. And so because Lewis is from Jamaica and he's Jamaican and that's an important cause to him, we're going to do some things to advocate for that. Through my years as a title holder, I have an initiative called Project Empower, where I have toured the country going to youth group organizations, especially gay youth group organizations, teaching interviewing skills, job skills, career development skills, because I'm a believer that as a gay individual, in order to make changes for rights in our community, you have to put yourself in a position to make one. And so by having your career in place and putting yourself in a position of prominence, that you can really make a difference. And so I've had the opportunity to tour our country teaching those skills. And so that's an initiative that I would always press forward and use Mr. Gay World to do that. But our primary objective is to take on the philanthropy or the initiative of the title holder who is currently reigning.
All right. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that the organization will be the springboard of whatever advocacy the winner would have. Right. And what you would do is to help to amplify it and to strengthen it to reach a wider audience. That's what I'm getting.
Absolutely.
Okay, terrific. Now, Miss World has the slogan of beauty with a purpose. Mm-hmm. So, for example, for Mr. Gay World USA, what is the message that this pageant wished to convey, or what is the slogan, if there's any?
Mm-hmm. That beauty with a purpose means that the internal and external beauty is important. People like to see beautiful things, and when something is beautiful, people will pay attention to it. Okay, and so beauty is important. Anyone that tells you that external beauty is not important, they're not telling the truth. Internal as well as external beauty is important because beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, and color. Once you have the attention of something that's beautiful, what is its purpose? Okay, when our national title holder goes someplace and they go, oh, he's a great looking man, he's a sexy man, he's a handsome man, he's a charming man. Okay, now because of his beauty, we now have his, he has your attention. What does he do with it? And that's the purpose. And so Nathan Davis, his purpose is advocating equality of gays in sports. He was a professional athlete. And so throughout his year of service, he had played professional sports as a gay individual. He has talked nationally about the coming out process, advocating and promoting professional athletes who have come out during their professional careers as gay, lesbian, or transgendered individuals and their rights. And that is his platform, and he's had the opportunity to do that nationally. And so beauty with the purpose is using your external and internal beauty to amplify the purpose and the cause of your community service and advocacy.
All right. So what I'm getting from this is that it's the beauty, physical beauty, that catches your attention, but your character is the one that catches the heart.
Correct.
Of the people.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
So you're very good at doing the slogans. You may want to do that for a living, because I explained the whole thing and then you just say it in 2 sentences. I don't know. Maybe I'm too long-winded or something.
No, it's okay. No, part of my day job is I'm a team leader. So what I do is I do coaching. So usually when we have these conversations, I just let my people speak, and then I try to sum it up. So yeah, I'm a creature of habit, so that's how I do it. Thank you. I appreciate you noticing that, though. I appreciate it. I see. We saw rather Jan Jeff Carlos, a winner in 2019, flying over to the U.S. Is he going to be a judge for this edition?
We have not listed our judges yet, and so I'm going to say this: we're excited that he is coming. And we look forward to getting to know him better.
Okay, I like that. I like that answer. Now that we're talking about judges, do you have any particular guest judge or celebrity judge that you wish to grace your pageant in the near future?
Yes, we do. We will be releasing our judges list, if I'm not mistaken, November 1st, roughly 2 weeks. We keep our judges private now because we're still working on their travel schedule and making sure that they're able to come and all of that. So we do have our judges list, but we're in the midst of solidifying and confirming. So I'm being very careful, about how I speak in regards to judges, but we do put out the judges early. There's no need for us to keep our judges secret. They're all prominent people. They're all not gay individuals. We have prominent people who are heterosexual, who are binary, who are gay, who are transgender. Again, we will have the diversity on that panel as well. And so that will be coming out probably the first week in November.
All right. Thank you. Without spilling the beans or without shooting yourself in the foot, what is your impression of the current roster of candidates this year?
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to ask this question.
Wow. But I'm surprised. I'm waiting on Mr. Ology, the people that kind of review all the boy pageants. I'm waiting on them to start doing their thing, because I remember their review of me when I did Mr. World, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But gosh, what do I think? It's highly competitive. If I take off my director's hat and I put on my coaching hat, we have 50 guys in the contest. More than half of them, are definitely, ready for top 12. There's an argument for any one of them, to win. I think that the diversity is just insanely crazy. The thing that makes our contest very difficult is that everyone brings something special. You don't sign up for our contest. We do have a selection and a vetting process, to acquire your state title, so which raises the level of competition. So I would venture to say that it will be one of the more competitive national competitions, and the caliber is just incredible. And just to be shallow, we have some gorgeous guys in the contest.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of gorgeous candidates, we will now be joined by one of your candidates. And I must say, he's one of the more popular, especially here in Asia, because, when you show his name or when we post his picture in Sash Factor, there are a lot of hearts to it. So without further ado, let's bring over Mr. Jack Titus.
Hi.
So Jack, hello Jack, how are you doing?
Wow, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Oh, today for you, right?
Yeah, it's confusing because of the time zone. But let me ask you. So the pageant is in November. So how has your preparations been so far? How are you so far?
I think everything I did right now, I doing right now, I think it's been good. Yeah, I still like prepare myself. Yeah, because I believe that like nobody is perfect. So that's why I want to be hit on that point. So I try to improve myself, be the best version of I can be right now.
I see that you have a tan, and I love it. So
Yeah,
He's
that's
looking like
one
me.
of my pageant coach. They just want to see what I'm look like if I be a
okay,
tan. Yeah.
all right. Okay, now that we have Kyle here in the interview as well, any pieces of advice that he mentioned to you or that resonated to you? What pieces of advice that he shared to you that really struck a chord in you?
Sorry, what do you say?
Any advice that Kyle has given to you that you really appreciate? Could you share as an advice that he shared to you or gave to you?
Yeah, the advice that one is like very important to me. He say like, no need to try to be anyone. Just be yourself. Yeah, just be the best version of yourself and just be yourself. Because when I go there for the competition for the in November, right? He just want me to like enjoy on in any single day and just be myself. So I no need to like push myself to be anyone else. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So what he tells you is to what he reminds you is to stay genuine, and that should help you win the crown. Be genuine and be real. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
My next question to you is, of course, you have your advocacy. We discussed that before. So if you now that you heard that Kyle mentioned that the organization is going to support your advocacy should you win, what are your thoughts about it? What are your thoughts of the organization going to support you all the way if you win, especially with your advocacy?
Okay, yeah, I believe that the organizer gonna support me for sure because my advocacy is about like relate from myself when I was a kid, right? Back then in my country, I got bullied like you guys know, like I try to stop to being a gay and I'm not proud of myself. Yeah, and I believe that right now today is 2021 already. I think still someone still got bullied by being gay in even in USA or in any country in the world. So I want to inspire them. I want to have a bigger voice and want to inspire the younger generation of LGBTQ. Like it's okay, yeah. In one day you will be successful in your life, no matter what you're gonna do. Just follow your dream. Same like me. Yeah, I have a dream to join to the Mr. Gay World. That's why today, like, I'm try my best and I'm stay here, yeah, to follow my dream.
All right. Personally, joining this pageant, what do you think are the benefits of joining Mr. Gay World USA so far? So, what do you think as a as a candidate this year? So, what are the benefits that you see joining in this pageant?
Wow, if say about the benefit, I think like I have a very good benefit if I join on because I'm just ordinary guy, right? Like you guys know, this is my first pageant. No one know me back then. Relate back to February, right? March. Yeah, no one know me. I'm just like normal guy. But after that, when they know I'm a Jack Titus, Mr. Cable Nevada, a lot of people come and see and talk about my advocacy, about like I got bullied by being gay. Even right now, I be a volunteer for help the people about HIV. Yeah, I go there every week. So I think I got really big opportunity from Kyle and Luis. Yeah, give me if I'm not joining this competition, I will not get and this benefit, and maybe I'm not gonna get on this feeling like to help the people, like yeah, get to know more about myself and like what I can do.
Okay. What activity so far in the competition have you enjoyed the most? What is your most favorite activity so far?
Wow, I just need to say, like, just a couple weeks ago, I just met my brotherhood, like, yeah, 10 of us or more than that, yeah, in the Mr. Gay America. Yes, it's my first time, and all my brotherhood is so nice. They're so lovely. Yeah, they come and talk to me because I don't feel like we have like competition with anyone. He like, oh, my bigger, yeah, like older brother, yeah, take care of me, like talking to me because I didn't realize like I gonna have like feel like warm welcome for all of my brother like that. That's
All
what
right.
yeah.
What is your advice? For example, a teenager wants to join Mr. Gay World USA in the future. What is your advice to that person? What is your advice to the teenager who wants to be where you are right now?
Okay, if you have your dream to go for the international pageant, same like me, just do it. Nothing is too late. No matter you're older than me, younger than me, yeah, doesn't matter. You can join and follow your dream. And I know that everyone, we are special, we are unique. So I believe that you can do it. Just do it. Just follow your dream.
All right. What are the things that you appreciate about the organization? And this is the time for you to say to Kyle, what are the things that you appreciate about him?
Wow. I need to say that, Kyle, you changed my life. You really totally changed my life a lot. You give me opportunity to be a representative of Nevada. That like, I didn't born here in USA. Like I don't speak like native American, so I don't want to cry. But thank you so much. I got big opportunity in my life because I don't know that if you don't give me this opportunity, I don't know like I'm not gonna be like Jack Titus today. Yeah. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณครับ
Kyle, what are your thoughts about his message to you?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying not to cry. Jack is he's an amazing individual. I remember when I first met Jack and I screened him. And I remember when I accepted him into the pageant and how emotional he got when I accepted him. And I look at him and I'm like, he's gorgeous, he's tall, he's intelligent, he's charming. He represents everything that Mr. Gay World represents, not just on the USA level, but on the world level. He represents that. And I'm thinking, why is this so important to him? And why would someone like him want something like this? This was just kind of what my knee jerk, reaction is. And so, as I've seen him promote his advocacy and represent the state of Nevada and look at his social media, it kind of hit me that to him, it's much bigger than just being Mr. Nevada. That it's more about the opportunity to impact the lives of others. And then also what I realized, just by observing him, is that it is that role model piece that we talk about. He's an immigrant here. English is not his first language. On site, because he's 6'2" and look the way that he does, someone of less confidence may be afraid to approach him, which means that it could be hard for him to make friends. And so it's kind of that thing where what you think something is and what the reality is not the same thing. And so I feel honored that Jack has given us a place in his life and to give us the opportunity to give him a platform to impact other people. And so that's why Jack and people like Jack are so important to us, because we have so many immigrants. In our competition, we have an immigrant from Puerto Rico, even though they're American, but they're still an immigrant to the mainland. We have immigrants from Venezuela and from Mexico. Jack, this, you've met them, and so I'm so honored that Jack and others like him have given us an opportunity to be their vehicle. So Jack, I just want to say to you directly that I want to thank you for honoring us by participating in this contest. And the same way that you're honored, we are honored as well. And I just want to say that to you and in front of the world, that we're honored to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You.
I'm happy to see the mutual admiration between the two of you. But again, Jack, at the end of the day, you would still have to put in the work, on November, because I mean, again, as you've mentioned earlier, your outside feature who can capture the attention, but to capture the heart, you must perform on the day itself.
Can I say something else, if I may?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
In a lot of other countries, most of the competition happens off stage and behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't get to see it. And then, the finals day, you have a coronation show, which basically tells you the results. In the United States, we don't do that. If we did that, we wouldn't have a contest. In the United States, people want to see the contestants battle. They want to see it on the stage. They want to see a panel of judges scoring the guys on the stage. Okay. And so I tell people all the time, would I like to have a king like Jack? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? But I don't judge my contest.
Yes.
We have judges that take a pen and they write numbers on a sheet of paper, and we have an accounting firm that adds it up. And then the person with the highest score at the end wins, regardless of how I feel.
Correct.
I think the world of Jack, but I need the 7 judges,
To feel the same. I agree with you.
And so I just like to be very clear about that. So even though in many ways I'm gushing over Jack because I think he's awesome, it doesn't matter what I think.
True.
It's what the judges think.
True. I agree with you. And I like that we're able to set the record straight and clear the air. All right. Thank you. My question to you guys, I would like to also ask you the question. Teenagers are watching us right then, or perhaps a few years down the line, they will stumble upon our video. So what would be your message to teenagers who would like to live the Mr. Gay World USA dream? If they want to join the pageant, what is your message to them?
Okay. My message to them is preparation is the key to success. That is what it is. You need to bring your best self. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Your best self is, first of all, knowing yourself. Okay? You don't have to be uber masculine to be in this context. But then you don't have to have pink chiffon coming out of your mouth either. You need to know who you are as a person. That's the first piece. The second thing is bring your best self physically, bring your best grooming, bring your best sense of style, bring your best initiative, bring the best you to the table, regardless of what that person is, because we, as an organization, is going to accept what you bring as long as you bring your best to us. And it doesn't matter what shape or form that takes, as long as it's your very best. And that's the advice and message.
All right. Thank you so much for the very resonating message for everyone. Before we close this interview, because I know it's midnight in your time, in your place, I would like to ask first, Jack, what is your message to all the fans who are rooting for you come November 14 or November 12?
Okay, thank you so much for all you guys support me. Your support is really mean a lot to me because I'm just ordinary guy and I have your support and I can feel it. And I promise I'm gonna bring back the cow to Nevada and for you guys. And if you guys free, anyone of my friends free, please come to Florida on November. So I want to see all of my friends in person. And thank you so much for supporting me.
All right, thank you. And about Kyle, any parting words to our viewers right now?
Sure.
What do you wish to say to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thank you, obviously, to Sash Factor for giving us the opportunity to highlight the Mr. Gay World organization to the rest of the world and to the Philippines, our pageant friends. I just want to say thank you. And in every conversation that I have, I always want to address the youth that is watching this. And so I'm just going to leave this message that regardless if you're gay or straight, in order to be successful in anything that you do, that you have to believe in yourself and to never, ever give up on your dreams. That regardless of who you are, where you're from, your social or economic background, that the greatness begins with you on the inside. And I want you to take that message with you in any goal that you have, in anything that you do. And if you don't learn anything from us tonight, I hope that you've learned that.
All right. Thank you so much. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, we just presented to you the national director of Mr. Gay World USA. And of course, one of their candidates, Jack Titus, a very, very popular candidate that is. And on behalf of Sash Factor, we thank everyone for joining us tonight. And hopefully you enjoyed this conversation the way that I did. And hopefully you're able to get resonating thoughts from the man himself, from the man of the hour, Kyle Haggerty. So Kyle, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's way past midnight your time, but we thank you for going out of your way to sharing us your precious time and answer some questions and sharing your thoughts with Sash Factor. And for Jack, good luck on the 14th. We're going to root for you. We're going to pray for you. But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work and you have to capture the judge's heart. So again, this is Carl Capellan on behalf of Sash Factor. Take care, everyone, and be safe. Bye.